Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the member countries of CARICOM wish to extend their congratulations to you on your accession to the chairmanship of the Permanent Council. You're taking charge of this august body at a time when our hemisphere is faced with stern challenges as well as great opportunities. The permanent missions of CARICOM hope that by lending to you and the members of your mission our wholehearted support and solidarity, that your burdens will be lighter. We take the opportunity to express our heartfelt appreciation and our congratulations to our dear colleague, Ambassador Pedro Oyarce, for the skill and the tirelessness with which he guided the affairs of the Council during a very demanding period. Mr. Chairman, the 120th anniversary of the First Pan-American Conference cannot be mentioned without recalling the names of Bolivar, San Martin, Morazan, that great pantheon of Pan-Americanists who, inspired by the American Revolutionary War, led their own struggles for independence, which consequentially evoked that sense of Pan-American unity. CARICOM delegations wish to thank and congratulate Dr. Alvaro Tirado Mejia for such a scholarly and interesting presentation on the subject. As he has explained, the objective of the First Pan-American Conference was to improve economic and political relations between the participants. It was also hoped that the conference would reach agreements for a customs union for free trade and establish a system for arbitration of international disputes. The outcome of that first conference is a testament to the fact that integration is an incremental process. The issue of arbitration was not resolved because many nations saw the proposal as a violation of sovereignty. The final agreement failed to establish the customs union. Instead, delegates settled for a clause that encouraged reciprocity agreements. And if you'd permit me a personal observation, Mr. Chairman, today my delegation finds itself in a similar difficulty as the United States delegation did at the 1889 conference. The then U.S. Secretary of State James Blaine, who was quoted earlier by Ambassador Skinner Klee of Guatemala, had not given the U.S. delegation any instructions whatsoever, and they were made to fend for themselves. Nonetheless, the conference succeeded in establishing the International Bureau of American Republics, or Pan American Union. It is the day of this meeting, 14th April, which is today celebrated as Pan American Day, and it is this meeting which gave rise to the series of conferences throughout the 20th century. As we have heard from Dr. Alvaro Tirado Mejia, the momentous historical occurrences and social currents of the last century ultimately led to the adoption of the Charter of the OAS, the Inter-American Democratic Charter, and the other important instruments of hemispheric integration. Colonial hegemony took a different pattern in the region which today has taken the name CARICOM. For the most part, we were unaffected by the application of the Monroe Doctrine. We retained the shackles of colonialism until the great powers of Europe had been debilitated by conflict. This is the historic circumstance which accounts for our relatively late entry into the OAS. Although we may be relative newcomers, Mr. Chairman, it is evident that our integrationist instincts are just as strong. Historically, we may not have been a part of the early efforts, but philosophically, we have certainly been inspired by its principles and influenced by its examples. Generations of Caribbean integrationists have been motivated by the Pan-American integration process. Today, a bust of Simón Bolivar occupies a place in Georgetown, Guyana, the headquarters of the Caribbean community. Moreover, the ultimate example of the influence which the wider hemispheric integration process has lent to CARICOM is best exemplified by the existence of the Caribbean community itself. The fact that even with a slightly different history, we have adopted the same prescription and have striven for the same result validates the vision of the founders of the first international conference back in 1889. Today, the CARICOM Group is recognized as a cornerstone in further strengthening and deepening the hemispheric integration process. In conclusion, Mr. Chairman, I wish to congratulate you for organizing such an appropriate session this morning, and I thank you for your invitation to participate.
Gracias al señor embajador de Guyana y al grupo de CARICOM.